Dragon Ball fans, with the Dragon Ball games battle hour just being a couple days away, we really need to talk about what we expect and what we want to see from the new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer that we'll be getting on, I think, Sunday night. With that said, I'm Kaizen and I'm going to be talking about what I expect, or at least what I want to see. So like and subscribe for more anime gaming content, and let's get straight to the video. So firstly, what are the key things that I want to see? And I guess I kind of expect some of them, maybe not all of them, but at least some of them. Those things are more character reveals, especially like any Z movies and GT characters, and from the super arcs, although we will be probably getting all the major super characters since Jiren and Broly were shown. I also want to see any characters from the Beast Gohan movie, the superhero movie, because we didn't see anything about that in the first trailer. Another thing that I really want to see, and I think we will see, maybe not precisely, but that's a release date. I want to at least know what year we'll be getting it. If they say early 2025, which is what I expect, then that's fine. That's understandable. Now another detail that I really hope that we see, but I don't have high hopes for it, is a breakdown of the mechanics, or at least some of them. For example, when we watched that trailer and they showed Goku and Vegeta fighting, they showed Vegeta deflect a ki blast. We need to see more of that. We need to see how the transformations work and how the ki system works. And also a little insight into some of the abilities that we might be seeing from specific characters would be nice to see. For example, they did show Bergamo, so I would like to see if we see Bergamo turn into a giant character when we play as him. Not only that, but if we do see that from Bergamo, that might mean that we'll be getting giant playable characters in the game, such as Hirudegarn and the Great Apes. Now one more thing that I really want to see, and I know we're going to get this eventually no matter what, but it will just make me happy to see it. I want to see some stuff about the story mode. Specifically, I want to see what parts of the story we cover, because let's be honest, like, for the last few decades we've been seeing the Dragon Ball Z storyline in almost every game, maybe every game. But I want to see the whole of the Dragon Ball Super storyline, and maybe some stuff about OG Dragon Ball, which would really make me happy. And also some GT stuff would be nice too, although we don't need to see all of GT, but at least the key moments, you know, like Goku versus Baby Vegeta, or versus Super Android 17, and obviously the Omega Shenron fight. Now while I am expecting more future trailers, since this is the battle hour where we usually get the biggest news, I want to see at least some key characters that shows us like what parts of the story we get characters from. For example, if they show us some GT characters, that could mean, like for example, let's say we see Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that probably means we'll be getting Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as well. And if we see someone from OG Dragon Ball, like for example King Piccolo, that could mean we get Kid Goku and other characters from OG Dragon Ball too. And I just want to see some story mode stuff from each of these parts of the story. Oh, and by the way, if you've been keeping up with the Dragon Ball games battle hour news, you've probably seen that we'll be getting some Dragon Ball Daima stuff as well. And while I am excited for that, I've also heard leaks that there's going to be Dragon Ball Daima characters inside Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So do you think we'll be seeing some Dragon Ball Daima characters in the game? Or at least some reveals in this trailer, which would go perfectly for the battle hour? I hope so, and I hope we see some story stuff, although I doubt that because we barely know anything about Dragon Ball Daima itself. While you're watching, why don't you comment down below what characters you want to see the most and what story parts you want to see the most, like if you want to see some Beast Gohan stuff or Dragon Ball Daima stuff, or even some manga stuff, which I doubt, but it would be cool to see. So regarding the gameplay and the mechanics, what I specifically want to see is a breakdown of how the ki deflections work and also how the combos work. Because if you've played any anime games in the last few years, you know they've been cursed with way too simple gameplay, like just button mashing square and sometimes triangle, and occasionally pressing maybe like R1 circle for a super attack. We don't want that. Maybe it's cool for kids, and maybe it was fun like in 2014 when I was a kid playing Battle of Z, but we don't want that anymore. I know they've improved a little bit with like Xenoverse where you can press multiple buttons for a combo, but we need some more complexity. I'm not saying we need Tekken level combos and complexity, but we need some layers to the mechanics. And I think that's why a lot of us were so happy when we saw ki deflections. It will really spice up the gameplay, and also it's just something that Dragon Ball games need. It's part of the show, so why shouldn't it be in the game? And also we saw that in past games, did we not? Like I remember playing Shin Budokai on my PSP, and we get ki deflections, I'm pretty sure. So why can a PS5 game not do that? So I'm really glad that we're getting that now, and I really hope they break down like how it works. Also, I really hope the mechanics aren't luck based and there's some genuine skill required to play it. I don't think we need to see too much about the ki systems and the power systems. I think those are pretty straightforward with Dragon Ball games, but it still would be nice to see a bit. Now I've seen a lot of people talk about character customization, and while that would be cool, I think original characters would always be a Xenoverse thing. It would be nice to see us customize the actual Dragon Ball characters a little, just a little, like different costumes, and mix matching their different costumes throughout the show. And maybe one feature that I really liked about Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z back in the day was that you could change the color of the outfits. That would be really nice to see back in this game. Now I know I already said that I think that the game will release in early 2025, but I think it's important to explain why I think that and why I think that's so important. It's not just about the release date itself, it's what it means. For example, if the game was to release this year in 2024, which some people think it will, yeah, that might be cool since it means we'll get the game sooner, but what that also means is more of the future characters will be DLC characters. For example, if it comes out this year, I'm gonna be honest, there's no chance we'll get Dragon Ball Daima characters. Whereas if it comes out after Dragon Ball Daima releases, like in 2025, since the show will be about 6 months long, that means we'll get Dragon Ball Daima characters almost certainly. Also, it's important to remember they've been spending 5+ years on this game, which, yeah, that sounds long, but if you're an OG fan like me, you're happy when you hear that, and a lot of people were on Twitter, because that means they're putting genuine effort into this game instead of just 2 years like they do with most anime games. I researched and I found out apparently it took them 2 years to make Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and yeah, that might just be because they upgraded Xenoverse 1, but still we want more effort than that. But then again, that also speaks to how much they're investing into this game, which means we'll probably be getting DLC characters for years and years to come even after it comes out. And it also means they're in no rush, which means we probably won't get it this year. They're taking their time, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm happy that they are. It also means we will likely get Dragon Ball Super superhero characters like the Gamma characters and Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo. And since Bergamo's in the game and he turns into a giant, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Cell Max, and that would be sick. Or at least he'll be a boss fight in the game, and hopefully in a story mode way. As for the story mode itself, one thing for sure, we'll get the Dragon Ball Z storyline, like I think that's just a given. And it looks like we'll get the whole of Dragon Ball Super. We'll get up until the end of the tournament at least, since we've seen tournament characters. But my only concern is, what are they going to skip? They can't skip the Goku Black arc, they can't skip the Universe 6 vs Universe 7 arc. There's no way they'll skip Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. They might make that part more sped up, like the pacing, because we've seen it so many times, but that's not that deep. And there's not too much to show of those movies, or I guess the arcs in the show, because as for the fights, like, it's mainly just the main fights in the end of the movies, like Goku vs Frieza and Goku vs Beerus, and some side fights before that, like some build up. But really, I don't mind them speeding that part up. The main thing is I hope they take their time with the Dragon Ball Super exclusive arcs, like the tournament. I am curious to see how they handle the build up towards the tournament survival arc. Like, if you remember in the show when Dragon Ball Super was airing, they spent months and months on the build up alone, and I don't know how they'll cover that in a game like this. Like, are they going to show Goku recruiting everyone? What I think they will do is they'll show Goku recruiting like the main members of the team one by one, like Android 17, and I think they'll skip Boo, but like the Krillin fight and stuff like that. Maybe Tien too, although he's skippable. But what I want to see, but I'm not too confident we will see, is OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT, and I guess Dragon Ball Daima too. But I really hope we see those, especially OG Dragon Ball. It's neglected so much, and I just think it's so pivotal to the story. I don't understand why they skip it, and the writing was so good back then too. Now, as for DLC characters, and this is the last thing, guys, as for DLC characters, seeing as it seems like this is going to be the Dragon Ball game, and the fact that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has been supported for so long, and yeah, I know people have been saying that Xenoverse 2 was meant to end in 2020, but they kept it going so that we have something to entertain us until this game comes out, which also speaks to how much they're investing into this game. It seems like this is going to be the Dragon Ball game, which means it's going to be supported for years and years. My guess is it will be supported for at least 5 years, at least, with plenty of DLC characters and story expansions, especially since the creators of Dragon Ball are saying we're going to get 10+ years of more content to come. Not even talking about games, manga, anime, the whole shebang, which means we'll have plenty of stuff to add as DLC. Because of that, I think we'll get DLC for years to come in this game, which is fine as long as we get all the current stuff in the game from the get-go. What I think we will see in the game as DLC is stuff like Ultra Ego Vegeta, Moro, what's the name, Gas, Black Frieza, all of that good stuff. As to when I think we'll see it, it's clear that the Dragon Ball franchise is taking its time because it knows no matter what, it's always going to be popular. So I think we won't get that until it's animated, like in a couple years or so, which is fine. I think Dragon Ball Daima is serving as like a bridgeway to like building up the return of Dragon Ball Super, which is fine. Honestly, I look forward to Dragon Ball Daima, and I look forward to the return of Dragon Ball Super, which I believe is inevitable. In fact, I don't even have any doubt. Like, if you know how the industry works and like how popular Dragon Ball is, especially in Japan and in the West here, you know that franchise is like a infinite money glitch for like Toei and the manga creators and everyone. But yeah, to summarize, guys, what I think we will see for sure is at least an idea of the release date, some insight into the story mode and I guess what the story will cover in the game, a decent breakdown of the mechanics, although we don't need to know the entire ins and outs, and I guess some more character reveals. And everything else I mentioned in the video, that's just what I really want to see and what we all hope to see. But don't get your hopes too high, because I think we're going to get several trailers down the line. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Don't forget to check out my previous video where I broke down why Bergamo is so important to this game and why he was in the trailer. And also don't forget to like and subscribe for more anime gaming content, especially Dragon Ball content. But obviously I'm going to be covering other anime games as well. Like I got a video about the new Jujutsu Kaisen game coming out, and just anime games in general, maybe the My Hero game if you're into that. And don't forget, I'm obviously posting Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 stuff. I did post a video about my experience as a beginner in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and I will be posting an update video of how I've come along in that game. I'm not gonna lie, I still got a lot of improving to do in that game, but check that video out and stay tuned for the future video where I show where I am now. But anyways guys, check out my videos, like and subscribe, check all my social links in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.